Hey, it's Sri here. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through 3 really important mindset shifts and steps you need to take in order to be able to move forward if your husband has asked for a divorce or if you're actually on the receiving end of infidelity. Now, before we dive in, if you are on the receiving end of infidelity or your husband said that he wants a divorce, I know the sort of pain that you're probably going through right now. I speak to women every single day who are going through these sorts of challenges, and so I understand at the deepest level the sort of pain that you're having to face right now. But I want you to know that there is hope, that transformation is real. Now, whether that's within yourself or within your marriage, whatever it is that you're looking for, the transformation is real. And, I've got so many of my clients who have gone through my program who have been able to create these dramatic shifts internally and also within the marriage as well. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video so you can get all of the information that you need to in order to be able to move forward and progress on this journey of yours. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and click on that bell notification as well, so every week you get access to my latest videos where I talk you through more about understanding male psychology and relationships, how to really heal from infidelity, and what you can do to be able to maximize your chances of saving your marriage. Now, for those of you who are familiar with my work, you will understand that I'm really big on psychology. I think a lot of people out there will talk about specifics when it comes to marriages, when it comes to communication, or understanding relationship dynamics and so on. But the problem is that you can do all of that stuff, but if you don't understand how to actually create the shifts and the healing emotionally within yourself, then it's going to be very, very difficult. And the reason why is, let's say I'm having a conversation with you, and I have some deep wounds of inadequacy on some level, and you say something to me that actually triggers me and triggers those wounds of inadequacy, then what am I going to do? I'm going to react from that painful place. Whereas if I'm actually in a place where, I've healed from those wounds, then whatever it is that you say to me, I'm not going to react at the same level, and we can start to have productive conversations. Whereas if you're always acting from a wounded place, then the other person's going to feel it, they're going to react negatively, you're going to react to their negativity, and then before you know it, World War III has started, and it's just problematic. And so in today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about just some of the internal shifts that you need to be making in terms of moving forward on this journey. And these shifts that I'm talking about are things that I see regularly, and also in my own journey as well, really trying to create a lot of changes on the inside has made a real massive difference in terms of the quality of my marriage and the quality of my life in general as well. And that's why I know this stuff works. So what I'm going to do now is talk you through 3 really important steps you need to take in order to be able to move forward. And if your husband has said that he wants a divorce, or you're on the receiving end of infidelity, these are going to be really, really helpful for you. Now, the first step that you want to take, or I guess it's really a question that you want to ask yourself, is your current marriage allowing you to be your best self? I really want you to take the time to think about that. If you think about what you were like maybe pre-marriage and how you used to show up in your day-to-day life, and then you look at yourself now, obviously there are many changes that go on over time in terms of life. We get older, we change a little bit, our mindset shifts, we're obviously having kids and dealing with other challenges along the way, and so that does create shifts naturally. However, I still maintain that in everyday life we want to be essentially a reflection of our core self. Who are we at the deepest part of ourselves? And do you feel like the marriage is a conducive environment for you to be your best self? Now, what I see a lot is, sometimes women will go through at the very beginning of a marriage and feeling confident and feeling sexy and feeling joyful and so on. And then over time in a marriage, it sort of starts to deteriorate a little bit. They don't feel like their best self. And so 10, 15, 20 years pass and suddenly they feel like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Now, that may not be due to your husband or the marriage itself. It could be a number of factors. So I think it's important to remember that just because I'm saying this doesn't mean that your husband has contributed to making you feel a fraction of who you are. However, we do want to take the time to be able to look at the overall marriage and understand, have we been our best self? Have we been able to operate with the sort of energy and the emotional fitness that we really want to be applying with on a day-to-day basis? And there are going to be stages, but if you look at it also now, do you feel like you can be your best self? Do you feel like you can truly operate in a way that is in line with who you really are? And I think it's an important question to ask yourself. There are many complexities to that question. So, if you do want to go a little bit deeper around it, and you want to learn a little bit more about how I can help you on this journey, then, in the description section below, just click on that link which says book a call with me. Just click on that link and then choose a time, and then we can talk a little bit more about your situation. See if I can help you move forward from this really difficult situation. But take some time to really answer that question and ask yourself, am I really able to be my best self in this marriage? Now, the second step that you want to take is to make sure that you don't indulge in your negative emotions. Now, some of you may be triggered by what I'm about to say, and that's absolutely fine. All I ask is that you just keep an open mind to what I'm saying, because a lot of the stuff that I talk about are relating to my own experiences as well, things that I've done over the years. And one of the things that I used to do a lot is indulge in my negative emotions. You see, as human beings, one of the strongest forces that we hold on to as a person is this need to be consistent with who we believe we are. So if you're someone that has had to deal with a lot of trauma over the years and a lot of negativity, and people have, screwed you over a lot of the time and just haven't treated you very well, and then ultimately you feel like you're not enough and you don't feel like you're worthy of love and so on, what's going to happen is your center of gravity is predominantly those feelings of inadequacy and not being worthy of love. And what we'll do as human beings is do what we can to ensure that we stay in that place. An example I like to give in terms of just, general everyday life is a lottery. People who win the lottery, there have been numerous studies that have shown that when they've done that, they've ended up feeling depressed or, feeling suicidal, or just feeling like it was the worst thing that could have happened to them. Now, the interesting thing is that before they have it, they're like, oh wow, I'd love to win the lottery. Imagine all these amazing things that I could get, and I could do all these beautiful things for lots of people. But when they actually get it, it creates a whole different experience. And the reason is that their identity is not in line with that of a wealthy person. So people who have abundance and who have wealth know that they're wealthy, know that they're abundant, and so therefore when they've got that abundance, it's in line, there's integrity there. There is an alignment there which says, I feel abundant, but I also have the materials to prove that as well. But individuals who stumble across the lottery don't have that same mindset a lot of the time. So when there is a discrepancy, i.e. they've got this wealth, but their mindset is, I don't feel like I'm enough, or I don't feel like I'm abundant, or whatever, what's it going to do? It's going to make them feel inadequate. It's going to make them feel like a fraud and so on. And so that's what creates those feelings of negativity and pain and sadness and depression and so on. And so it's the same sort of thing in relationships. If we feel like we're not enough, if we feel like we're inadequate, what will happen is your brain will always take you back to that place. So even if there are some opportunities to be able to feel happy and feel joyful and so on, what will happen is you'll find ways to indulge in your own negativity and your own pain. Why? Not because you enjoy it, but because it makes you feel certain. You know what that's like. I remember years ago, I was, doing a lot of work on my own self. I wanted to kind of achieve a whole bunch of things. And it was really fascinating because when I got there and I achieved those things that I wanted to achieve, I felt empty. I felt empty thinking, this doesn't feel right. It just doesn't, something doesn't feel right about all of this. What happened? I self-sabotaged, and then before I knew it, things started to spiral out, and I got back to that place where I felt inadequate, I didn't feel good enough and so on, and I ended up going into that sort of negative low place again. But what was interesting is I had been so used to operating like that for many years that it felt normal. It almost felt comfortable in some kind of strange way. So the reason I say this is because if your husband has said that, he wants a divorce, or, you're on the receiving end of infidelity, that is obviously going to create a huge amount of pain on the inside. And initially, the pain that you feel, it's totally okay to live in that place for a while. It's okay because you have to process it. You have to grieve, what was. You have to, really process and heal that pain that you're feeling. However, if we find that we're holding on to that pain and thinking about the same things over and over and over and over for months and potentially years, then you know on some level what's happening is you're indulging in that pain. And that indulgence, we've got to be careful of it. As I said, I am the first to admit that I've done that many a time, and it's something that I see a lot. So you want to be mindful of not indulging in that pain and asking yourself, how can I use this pain in order to move forward? How can I use this difficult experience that I'm having right now to grow and to get better? And one of the most important things that we can do in order to be able to move forward and not indulge in that pain is to do step number 3, which is heal those deeper core wounds. What is it that's coming up inside of you? What are those deeper wounds that are being triggered on the inside? You know, are you feeling those deep wounds of rejection? Are you feeling abandoned on some level? Are you feeling inadequate? Do you feel like there's no way that you can actually survive without your husband? Do you feel that maybe you'll never meet someone else, or you feel like your whole world is completely crushed because of his actions? Or do you also feel that maybe on some level the marriage has been declining for a long time, but you just haven't necessarily wanted to accept it? And now there's this tipping point and this moment where you've got to say, look, you know what, I need to look at this properly and really create some shifts from there. What are those deeper wounds on the inside? Because once you understand that and you can actually work through and heal those wounds, that's when things really can start to shift. And you know, the first step in any kind of process of healing is to gain awareness. So we gain awareness of what's going on. Then we get to a place of acceptance. So in other words, if you're on the receiving end of infidelity, you become aware that it's happened. It's about getting to a place of then acceptance around it. Then you allow yourself to process the pain around it and the emotions around it. And that doesn't mean that you start, you know, firing at him in terms of the negativity and going off at him. It's about allowing yourself to experience the emotional reaction to it. You know, the emotional reaction internally is what you need to process and heal. And you can do that by simply at the starting point, just allowing yourself to feel those emotions, to feel those physical sensations in your body. Because over time, as you lean into those emotions, but not think about them, but allow yourself to feel the physical sensations, they will slowly pass. And that's when you can move towards the 4th step, which is around transformation. And when we actually start to create the shifts, we move through it and we move past it, and we're able to actually progress forward and recognize that, you know what, I'm going to be okay and everything's going to be fine no matter what. And you know, these steps are really important to allow yourself to move forward and grow and to heal. And you absolutely can do it. You know, I see it time and time again. I know when you're in it, it feels like the most difficult thing that you can go through and you don't know what to do in order to move forward. But I promise you that if you follow some of the steps that I've talked about and you're able to really get to the root of what's actually going on and create the shifts that you're looking for, it can really allow you to create some remarkable changes in your life. And you'll look back and think, wow, you know, I'm so proud of myself for being able to get through and to truly heal from it all as well. So if you're in a position where you're feeling a little bit stuck, you're not sure how to move forward or how to apply these specific steps, then I'd love to be of service to you through my Authentic Relationship System training program, which is an incredible program where I talk you through the steps you need to take in order to be able to heal from infidelity, to really create those internal shifts that you're looking for, so that you are able to find true joy, true happiness, true peace in a really, really difficult situation of yours. So if you resonate with my material and my content and you really want to learn a little bit more about how I can help you on this journey, then I'd encourage you to, in the description section below, just click on that link where it says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time, just so I can learn a little bit more about where you are now, where you want to get to, and how you can bridge that gap in the shortest possible time. I can't wait to be of service to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit that like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And do let me know what your biggest takeaway is from this video as well. I always love hearing the comments and the questions, so please don't hold back. Really make sure you take the time to write those comments and questions below, and I'll make sure I respond to every single one of you. And if you want to learn what to do if you suspect your husband's going through a midlife crisis, click this video above. And if you want to know whether you should apply the no contact rule or not, click this video above. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video.